that you're hurting people when you're not charging them, right? So, when your clients come and they want something for free or whatever, like, and you're not charging, you're actually hurting them, right? And here's why, right? So I just want to talk about a few things. So one is, people pay attention when they actually pay, right? So people that pay attention, right? Like, and just think about it for yourself, right? Different things that you've gone through. Maybe it was schooling, right? Like college, university. It was expensive, it cost a lot of money. Well, did you actually show up? Did you actually do it? Right? You did, right? You did that because you had to pay for it. It was something you had to pay for, but then think about maybe some YouTube video that you watched, right? And you're like, oh, this would be really cool to learn to do this thing or whatever. You start going through that and you don't actually ever do it, right? Or maybe you buy a course and maybe it's also too like the idea that like you can't charge very much. Like you just shouldn't charge very much because otherwise you're hurting people, right? Like the thing is, like, sure, I agree in being honest and having integrity. Like you should definitely charge what it's worth, and the value you can provide. But at the same time, if you just charge like $20 for something that really should be a lot more and people will actually pay attention to it when they pay more, then just remember that, right? Remember that, it's not always about that sometimes when we invest more, we actually put in that much effort, right? So if you have to put in a ton of money for school, then you probably put in a lot of effort so you could actually do it. Otherwise you wouldn't have done it, right? And similar thing that when you're selling, to your clients, you need to make sure that you first are charging and you're charging enough, right? And again, there's a place for free work as well. So it's not like it all has to be paid, but I just like that idea though, that people actually pay attention. And so when you, think, oh, but like, I just shouldn't charge for this, that like, sometimes you should though, right? Sometimes you should, because it will force people to actually pay attention to it and to actually do it, and obviously as long as it actually works and is all that. But a couple other things though too with that is, number two is that, your mindset is everything, right? Mindset is huge. There's so many, I'm just amazed at how important your mind is and having the right mindset about everything, that you're doing. But think about it with sales. Like if it's something that you look like, it's always a scary thing. It's always something that like, oh, I hate it. Like, and you just think it's bad, then it's going to be hard to do that. Right? And so like continue to work on, changing that mindset of like, what, I need to charge for this because I need to be able to help other people so that they actually pay attention. But also just do something that's like aligned with you as well. Like I was reading this book by Moshe Engelberg, which is the Mari Wave. It's all about having love at work, which I think is really cool. Because a lot of times we talk about like your target audience, about capturing the market, like all these kind of more negative, like battle like terms in business. But like, he's like, you should love your competitor, and that type of stuff. But anyways, one of the things that really stood out to me is when he talked about how he had a client, he's had different projects as a consultant, and sometimes he'd charge too little, right? So he wouldn't charge enough. And so it was like the project was like kind of hard for him because he just always kind of felt this like, oh, I just don't feel like I'm like, it's not aligned. Like he doesn't feel good. But then also when he's like charged too much, another, on the other side of things, like, oh, I don't know, I just feel bad. I just don't think I should have charged that much, right? Like that type of feeling. And so, that's just, to me, again, the mindset and really making sure that things are aligned with what you're doing really can make a big difference. And then the last thing is, I actually forgot, so I'm not totally sure, but hey, I'm just going to leave you with those thoughts, today, and just, encourage you to continue to do things that are in alignment with what you feel. Looks like we got a dog here, but, but then to also, really know that I remembered, boom. So the last thing I just want to say is that it's important to charge, because you'll then be able to help even more people, right? Like that's part of why you're doing a business. That's part of why you're doing it, is so that you can be able to go out and impact more people, right? And so that's just important to remember. And again, if you kind of think about it, I've done, live on kind of like causes, and having like a mission, behind what you're doing. But if you think about it, like people, not everyone necessarily, but there's going to be people that want to pay. They want to pay to be, with you. And that's like the people you want to find. You don't want to like go convince all these people that they need this thing that they don't really need. Like, you truly do serve and help people. And so, being able to charge them, and when they really resonate with your story and your mission, it's like they're happy to help the cause in a sense, right? You're helping them, and then you'll be able to then take that to other people as well, because you need to be able to pay yourself and continue to grow, because otherwise you can't serve them in the future, right? Or otherwise you can't serve other people. And so it's important to not only charge, but to charge enough as well. And so I just know that can be a struggle for people that really have a big heart to serve, and that they're not in it for the money, but it's like you have to charge. Like, you have to like get over that and realize, again, people are actually going to pay attention when you do it, and that they're happy to help this cause that you have going on, because you're doing something great. You're doing something to help them and to be able to help others too. And so, obviously, I, again, believe in being honest in all that you do. And so, you shouldn't charge too much, but you shouldn't charge too little either, right? And really, you're going to provide the most value in that way. And so I hope that helps. And until next time, make sure you go make an impact.